Welcome back to the Michael Gaddis Show on KCBQ AM1170 The Answer. More and more San Diego homeowners and businesses today are turning to solar power for their energy needs. The demand for solar power is evident by the ever-increasing number of solar companies that are popping up all around San Diego County. This last weekend, I had a booth at the Oceanside Harbor Days, and I kid you not, there were at least 3 solar companies there, all of which telling me the same thing, that they were the best at what they did. Since there are so many choices, how do you choose which solar company is the right one? My special guest today is Fareed Hamidi and his son Ali, the owners of Solarfuze of solarfuze.com, and that's solarfuze.com, a San Diego-based solar company specializing in residential and commercial solar applications. Fareed and Ali, thank you for coming by to join us today.
Thank you for having us. Thanks for inviting us.
With so many solar companies out there to choose from, it can be very difficult to narrow the field. However, in my opinion, there's at least one way to thin the field of any industry. And I recommend this the same no matter, for what you're doing, including homeowners that are interviewing real estate agents. Examine the educational background of the people that are helping you. All things being equal, I will always pick education. Fareed, one of the things that makes Solarfuze different than most of your competitors is your educational background. Tell me a little bit about your educational background.
Sure. Obviously, I'm an electrical engineer from San Diego State, and also my RMO, responsible managing officer as well. It's has electrical engineering degree with C10 license. So yes, we are with electrical backgrounds and someone who knows, understands the technology that goes into solar.
Well, I think having that kind of an expertise is important. I mean, you're not just some of those people who, used to do, roofing, and all of a sudden now they want to be solar contractors. You're an actual electrical engineer. And for those of you who do not know how much goes into becoming an engineer, I'm telling you, it's a lot of work to do that. And there's a lot of tests involved. Good for you. I've also heard about the quality of solar panels. Every solar company says that they have the best solar panels. What's the truth about solar panels?
Obviously, solar comes in the U.S., the European, the Asia. Each one's claim that they have the best products. We've been using SolarWorld in the U.S. Seems like it's one of the most efficient one, and a lot of customers that we provide solution to, and we validate it every year. What they claim, they actually meet that. So that's give us a confidence that whatever we say up at the beginning, that's true statement.
So your solar panels are manufactured in the United States?
It's a U.S. company. SolarWorld is a U.S. company, and they do have branches in Germany that they make some parts there. But in the past, they were making in the U.S.
Well, how would you rate your solar panels? How would you rate them?
The way that we rate them, that when we install a solar in somebody's house, and we have given a minimum warranty that this panels produce, and by the times that we actually see that, a lot of the SolarWorld were U.S.-made products that are matching the numbers that they claim. And so that would give us indications that those are the better version of solars.
Well, what's the warranty on your panels? Because I know a lot of people say, well, these panels are warranted for X. What's the warranty on your particular panels?
Every panel now is 25 years, and also SolarWorld is coming up with the products that is 30 years. So it's a robust than the existing one. So it's somewhere the minimum is 25 years for all the panels.
Well, something else that I run into all the time are solar leases. I have literally witnessed solar leases either destroy a real estate deal or force the seller to lower the price of a home to compensate for the fact that the solar lease on their house requires the new buyer to assume the lease. What's your opinion of solar leases?
Obviously, the financial situation for every family is different. So some people, system works for one family, may not work for others. But the way we have seen our customers come into us in the past, typically the best option is if somebody can have a cash or tap on the cash, that would probably be number one option. Second one that we recommend, if people can get an equity line of credits, you can easily get something 3 to 4% interest on them. And that's the second option. The third option is a company called Aero, which is they finance 100% of the cost, and they charge you 5 to 6%. So that's something that there's no qualification needed as long as you have a home, and that's by itself is qualified. And then lease is the last options, that if you want to get your solar system that you want a fixed rate so your electrical bill doesn't go up, that's the only options. But you're right, there are some drawbacks that we have seen from a lot of customers. So if they have other options, I would suggest that they explore those first, and then leasing be the last option.
Well, what about the tax credit? I mean, if you get a solar lease, do you get the tax credit, or do you have to purchase it?
Well, in the past, that when you get a lease, the company who do the lease, they actually get all the rebates along with your equipment, part of the your panels, part of their equipment, and they take depreciations of the first 5 years on that. So they get majority of their money up front, and the homeowners end up to pay for the next 20 years of their payments.
Wow, so they're getting the benefit of the tax credit that you would get if
Correct.
you purchased it outright, and they're depreciating it.
Correct.
Wow.
As a matter of fact, the Euro program, that they pay 100% of the cost, and you still get your own tax write-off, the 30% federal tax credit, that you still get them, but this is probably much simpler and easier and more beneficial to homeowners.
Oh, so what's that plan called again?
Hero, H-E-R-O.
Oh, so the HERO program allows for you to get the financing you need and still get the tax credit.
Correct.
So that seems like it's a much more viable option than leasing.
And there's no qualification needed. There's no credit scores. The only thing that you own a home, and they automatically qualify you for 10% of the home worth.
Wow. Well, then another thing I keep hearing about is the debate surrounding net metering. What is net metering?
Oh, that's very interesting. That in the beginning, SDG&E and quite a few other Edison and other utility company agree to have 5% of the solar be connected to the net, to the grid that they have. And that 5% is running out short. So as you can check the SDG&E website, they daily updating of what's going on with that plant. And from what we are seeing, that's getting very close. I would say 75% is already done. The next 25% that is going to be coming up, a lot of people claim that by the end of this year or early next year will be done. And that is a major task, because with the existing net meters, it's you only pay 17 cents per day. So it's around $5 a month. Now that they are proposing that the $5 can change to a different rate, and the bracket that used to be 4 different bracket, that's also going to change. So that's going to be some changes to the homeowners that what they have today.
What does that mean for people who are considering buying solar today? I mean, if they buy solar before that change goes into effect, what does that mean?
Well, obviously that until the early next year when they finalize, they call it Tariff 2.0, that will change the base rate. Right now, it's only $5. Who knows what's the next number is going to be and how much they're proposing. And also, the rate used to be the individual only paid the lowest rate that it's on a bracket, but that's going to change too. So instead of 4 bracket, they're proposing 2 or 3 coming up.
So does that mean that if I purchase a solar system, let's say next month, am I grandfathered in, or does mine change when it changes in next year?
No, as long as they claim that as long as that you can lock in to their systems, you still be able to get the current system as a grandfather. But as Tariff 2.0 take place, then it's going to change.
Oh, I see.
So the sooner the better that they will lock in the current rates.
Oh, wow. So does that mean you should get solar sooner rather than later?
Yeah, and we're seeing that our business is quadrupled this year, and that was probably one of the key factors that people want to lock in.
Well, I was looking through your website, and I noticed that there are several different ways to install a solar system. I mentioned this because some homeowners don't want the solar panels on their roof or some other aesthetic reason why they don't want to install it. On your solarfuze.com website, you mentioned placing panels above carports, over car patios, etc. It seems there are a lot of creative places to install a system. Can you explain some of the ways that homeowners can install a solar system?
Sure. Obviously, that everybody has different preferences for what they want. Some people want panels on the rooftop, sometimes they don't. So we have all different options within the Solarfuze. As you mentioned on our website, we talked about the ground mounting that we put in on the hillside, that it's beautiful and it produces powers while it doesn't interact with the house. We do canopy, carport. Obviously, for larger projects, we do have solar farms that we put it on the farms.
So it sounds like you guys are, pretty flexible on where you can put these panels.
Correct.
Yeah, that's great. So how long does a typical solar installation take?
Usually take for us, somewhere in the range of 5 to 6 or even 8 kilowatt system that we do it within a day. So we start it in the morning, we be done in the afternoon.
So how long does it begin, including the permitting? Because you have to get a permit for these, right?
Yeah, so within Solarfuze, we tell the customers around 6 weeks. This is the process, and once they sign the document, the plan to start creating the plan for the projects. That plan usually takes 3 days, and then once we get that plan, we send it to the homeowner associations, because that's usually the longest one. Because homeowner associations typically have meetings once a month or twice a month, and if you miss the first one, then you have to wait for the next times, because it's a constructions review. And homeowner association has to approve, and then once they do, we take them back to the city, and they usually take a week or two to get it back. So when we said around 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks, that's a reasonable timeline.
Well, there we go with the HOAs again. Keep paying your HOA payments. They'll probably make it easier for you to get your solar system. So one more thing I wanted to ask you. I know that homeowners with solar are able to track the performance of their solar system with their phone or their computer. I've seen people do this where, a guy comes out and says, hey, look at my phone. Look what I'm generating on my roof right now. Do you guys have that kind of capability?
Yes. Fortunately, that a lot of these products comes in with the monitoring device that we install in their garage, which take all the data from the panels, report it to the net, which is databases created by the company who created the Envoy. And they continuously report it, so you can see your production per minutes, per hours, per day, per weeks, per year. So it's really awesome. It's a good feeling that you could see that how much you produce. And also we have one layer more that we can actually see each panel, how each panel produce. If there's something went wrong with one panel, we can see that too.
Well, that sounds great, and I want to thank you guys for coming in today, because I'm getting the signal that we're low on time. You guys are going to have to come back and visit me again, because I got a lot more questions I wanted to ask you guys. So I want to thank Fareed of Solarfuze for coming in today, and I want to thank Ali too, who was very talkative today. You said so much, Ali, I couldn't keep you off the mic. So I thank you. I think you all will be very hard pressed to find a solar company as knowledgeable and as qualified as Solarfuze. If you are interested in solar, I encourage you to contact Solarfuze today. Solarfuze truly is San Diego's premier solar company. You can reach them by calling 858-729-8788. That's 858-729-8788. Or by visiting their website, solarfuze.com. That is solarfuze.com. I learned something about reverse mortgages while attending the Oceanside Harbor Days last weekend. I will tell you all about it after the break. You are listening to the Michael Gaddis Show on KCBQ AM1170 The Answer.
AM1170 The Answer. Everywhere you go on iHeartRadio.